Okay, to give my recording a bit more direction here, I wrote down some thoughts to talk about instead of just doing like a stream of style type of video log. But yeah, so this is day 2, the last day of Midwest Champs 2010, and it's about 1 a.m. right now. Got to return tomorrow. You know, it's all over. First thing that came to mind was, of course, going back, and I wasn't sure what to do to get a ride back to the airport. And so I told Keats about that. You know, he asked around, and then I thought about it too, and I approached Damdai and asked him what his plan was to go back to the airport, and his flight's around 11 a.m. and mine is at like 10:22. So he said that he'd help me out and he'd drop me off, and you know, definitely thankful for that. And branching off of that, I actually got to beat him once in casuals today on the ST cab. I was making the rounds and I was playing DJ, and I couldn't change since it's on the arcade setting. The winner has to stick with their character. We're doing best of 1 game. And it was actually Roy Bizzle who knocked me off. It took a while for it to get set to ST because Shinji Gohan left Street Fighter EX plus Street Fighter EX 2 Plus on his cab. And we thought that he took the ST board with him, or at least that was my assumption. And so we all waited for him to return, but it seems the ST board was there like the whole time. And well, that's just how that went down. And yeah, it took a while for it to get back on ST. But it was really interesting to meet Roy Bizzle because he was telling me about his younger days and being in the scene and doing crazy stuff like I'm doing right now, traveling faraway places just to get like tournament experience and just, you know, learn about Street Fighter really, or meet high level players, stuff like that. And he was also telling me about Seasons beatings and how he thought that he thinks that Seasons Beatings is actually a better event than Midwest Champs, and you know, I can't really, I don't have much insight on that right now. Like, the only thing I could really add to the conversation was how DGV versus Umahara was really hot shit at the last Seasons Beating. So I might check it out if the funds are good later this year. I mean, that whole conversation actually gave me a bit more hope, since my last entry was sort of depressing and like, oh, I hate my life because I lost a Murphigator. So yeah, let's see, moving right along. There wasn't a $5 5-on-5 random teammate super tournament, and I wasn't really disappointed about that since I had to finish their 3-on-3 tournament, and you know, I just ended up eating that $5. At first, this event felt like many other events where, well, I mean, after a while, you sort of get used to the flow of things. Like, you get in earlier, at least I try to, and, you know, you get a feel for the venue, and see what the building's like, and see who's coming, see who's arrived, you know, just try to hang out or whatever. And you really do get used to that. And then, like, from there, it seemed kind of down, I guess, since I guess I had high hopes for this event, and it didn't really meet my expectations in a certain way, I guess. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say with that. Like, it was, of course, wonderful to play live ST, and that's really the thing that got me the most hyped about it. So I can't really complain there. But yeah, that, like, just talking to Roy Bizzle really was, it really, like, his sharing of experience added to my experience, if that makes sense. like it's different kind of reading of stuff like that on forums, and then hearing it from some old man himself. I guess I guess that's one way of putting it. It's I don't know. I guess it's the whole word of mouth thing. Like back in arcade days, like everything's kept secret, like you know, commands and stuff like that, or like strategies, and you really just need to go places and to trade secrets instead of like, oh, let's see, you know, what this matchup's like, and you just go to SRK and you get to study it for free or whatever. No, the whole word of mouth and being in person thing, I guess it really is like a throwback to the arcade generation and really Street Fighter roots. So I always enjoy that part of bonding with the community and being a part of it, contributing to it in whatever way I can. So yeah, I was sort of like, and then down, since I lost to Murphigator in Double Jeopardy, and then up again since like today. I got a lot of ST, and since the line wasn't as big. Or I don't know, maybe I'm trying to make myself feel good since like I'm. It's like when the event's winding down, and you know you just want to cling on to everything before going back to the real world, and that's just the way I am, at least with stuff like this, where you just gorge on fun and entertainment for like a whole weekend. Speaking of such things, Evolution. Roy Bizzle said he'd be there this year, so you know that it'll be cool to meet up with him again, and you know, of course, well, actually, I asked a lot of people this weekend, like if they're going to Evo, and you know, it was either like money's too tight, or you know, what other reason? Usually money, I guess. You know, pretty standard reasoning there, but it's definitely going to be big this year, and you know, I'm sure it'll be better than Midwest, of course. Not to say that this event was a complete waste. You know, it definitely had its moments, and I can't really say that I regret coming, since you know you try to make the best of these experiences, and I definitely think I did get something out of it in its own way. And if I haven't discovered completely yet what the best thing I might have gotten yet, you know, it'll come to me later, like, click, you know, when I'm writing my 2 essays that I do in, like, the next week or whatever. Yeah, I think that might be about it. I should probably get some sleep. Yeah, good games this weekend. Hopefully more in the future. Still not sure what to do with my life. That's kind of how I feel at the end of all of these events. Like, you know, when you don't really feel like you win a great big prize, but that's just part of the journey, I guess. Part of the struggle to be, or rather to find what you're really fighting for, I guess, you know. What Ryu's always doing. I guess that's what we're all doing. Good night.